overtime. We closed regulation 12-0. To force overtime, which is great to see, but 18 points in 5 minutes. They shot 75 from the field, and they were 4 or 6 from 3. And first game of the series that we did not win the paint battle, we did not win the rebounding battle. And so give them credit. I didn't think we were going to go undefeated the whole postseason. So I'll be curious to see how we react, going home for Game 5.
How difficult is that to stomach, given that 12-0 run to end the game, and obviously, had a chance to win it?
Yeah, it's, obviously, Nikola makes a free throw. Now, instead of it being a tie game, we're up 1. It's a little bit more pressure on them. They got to score. And we played great defense in that last possession. KCP on Edwards, to not allow them to score and walk off. But, you hold them to 16 points in the fourth quarter, and they had 18 in 5 minutes. So once again, that's the hardest thing to stomach about this game is that when the game was on the line, we were unwilling and unable to get necessary stops.
What was the difference in your eyes, the rebounding in the paint tonight versus the other 3 games?
They were ultra aggressive, 14 offensive rebounds. I think, once again, we knew they were going to play with a desperation, like all teams do when they face elimination. And, to be out rebounded 51-47, but 14 offensive rebounds, thankfully only 11 points. Then in the paint, I think that aside from the overtime, the key stretch was in that third quarter. I think they went on a 25-10 run. And, Anthony Edwards was getting his, and as was everybody else. So we have to be a lot better, a lot more disciplined, a lot more physical, and a lot more urgent to try to close this team out.
Coach, what was the difference in that? What was the difference in that 25-10 run to come out in the second half?
Well, they scored. We didn't. We didn't execute. They turned up their aggression, both offensively and defensively. They played downhill, and we were flustered, and it carried over to the offensive end where we had a hard time executing for good shots. So, give them credit. We shot 44 from the field. They shot 45. It's going to happen. We'll watch the film and figure out how we can be better come Game 5.
Just with the chance to close out in 4, just how disappointing is that aspect of it? Like, just the opportunity to close out and you couldn't complete it.
It's disappointing. I don't understand the question. We lost. We're not going to go undefeated in the postseason. We're not going to go 16-0. So, yeah, we lost the game. We had our chances, but it's we got to go home and regroup and not feel sorry for ourselves and get ready to play against a team that has some life now.
Michael, I apologize if you said this, but do you think it was fatigue in overtime that 18 points, or what do you think? Do you think it was just being excited that you came all the way back? What do you think?
No, I don't think it was fatigue. They were just as tired. Look at the minutes that their starters played. So I'm not going to use any readily available excuse about fatigue or anything else. They played better in the overtime than we did. And again, you look at just the fourth quarter compared to overtime, and to close out a game 12-0 when you got the necessary stops and you got the necessary baskets on the other end to force overtime, and you'd hope that there'd be some momentum carrying into that, and we didn't get that, and that's the disappointing part.
Coach, how would you evaluate Nikola's night? He seemed much more aggressive in terms of scoring, but it also felt like he missed shots he usually makes.
Yeah, he's banged up. He's playing hard. Played 39 minutes tonight. 43 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. We got a lot of guys out there trying to do whatever they can to help this team win. I agree with your point, Katie. I do think that he was trying to be very, very aggressive, and it was great to see him get to the foul line tonight. 8 of 12. He was didn't get there once last game, so got to the foul line, and again, one free throw here, one free throw there, and maybe that game doesn't even get to overtime.
Just from your vantage point, was there any adjustment that stood out from Minnesota's end, or is this really just kind of played out that they kind of just out-hustled in a lot of ways?
Yeah, nothing that jumps out. They went small for a little bit, with At one point in that second half, Cat as a 5 and like 4 smalls around him when Gobert was out. But I didn't think they doubled Nikola a few times tonight. They hadn't done that in the first 3 games. I'm sure there are a few other things that I noticed throughout the game, but we'll watch the film to see maybe what some of those were. But I do think your second point is really what it comes down to. We just had a couple of costly mistakes at big times, and you can't do that when you're trying to close out a team. And the hope is that we'll be a lot better in Game 5.
Coach, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is pressuring Jamal the entire length of the floor. You guys have seen that pretty much all season. Is it slowing down the offense a little bit, and what are some ways you guys can get into your looks a little bit quicker?
Yeah, give him credit. He's doing a really good job, to your point. He's harassing, hounding. We got to look to set screens for Jamal earlier, maybe in the backcourt, free him up, get him some momentum up the floor, and maybe get the ball out of Jamal's hand so he's not fighting that for 94 feet every possession, because that can really wear you down, as well as getting maybe a secondary ball handler out there with him. But we could be a lot better on both ends of the floor. Gave ourselves a chance tonight, came up a little bit short. Thought our guys played hard. Was really proud of that effort to close out the fourth quarter. But we just didn't sustain it for that last 5 minutes. And that's what you need in a closeout game. That's why these closeout games are the toughest games in a series. Appreciate it, guys. Ladies.